just gets frozen cutting.
Beal, a two-handed slam.
How does the real deal Bradley Beal stack up against Kobe Bean Bryant? The Big Panda meets the Black Mamba in the showdown of sensational scorers, backcourt behemoths, tantalizing two guards. Bradley Beal versus Kobe Bryant. At first glance, it's easy to label Kobe Bryant a better baller than Bradley Beal. Kobe is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and Bradley Beal flew relatively under the radar until his past few breakout seasons. It's hard to argue with 5 rings. So for this comparison, we're going to get ultra specific. We're looking at Kobe Bryant's 06-07 season and seeing how it compares to Brad Beal's current season through 36 games, aka the halfway point of this weird COVID-marred campaign. The 2006-2007 season was part of a 3-year slide in an 11-year run of Laker dominance. As usual, Kobe carried the Lakers, but his supporting cast wasn't much to write home about, headlined by Lamar Odom, who missed 26 games, and the second-year Andrew Bynum.
Bryant has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in!
Bradley Beal is in a similar boat this season, working with a 12th-year Russell Westbrook, Davis Bertans, and a rotating cast of mostly younger players fighting through injuries and COVID. Foundations like that can only mean one thing: someone has to carry the team. And that is exactly what Kobe and Beal have done, both leadership-wise and statistically.
Beal cradles them with the left. What an adjustment. Oh my gosh.
The most striking comparison is that both players led the league in scoring, with Kobe finishing the season with 31.6 points per game and Beal currently on 32.3 points per game. During the 2006-2007 season, Kobe was the only player to average above 30 points per game, with Carmelo Anthony and Gilbert Arenas right behind him, each averaging under 29 a game. This year, Bradley Beal is averaging around 32 points per game, edging out Damian Lillard and Joel Embiid, who are both hovering around 30 points per game. To say that Beal and Bryant were explosive scorers in these seasons would be an understatement. Kobe scored 50 or more an astonishing 10 times, including a streak of 4 games in a row.
Kobe has 50. He's done it. 4 straight games.
Kobe ended that season with 18 40-plus point games, winning 13 of them. Those same 40-plus point games weren't as kind to Bradley Beal. In games where he scored 40 or more points, his Wizards lost all 4. Beal's biggest game was a 60-point effort against the 76ers, where he went 20 for 35 from the floor and 13 for 15 from the line. His 60 wasn't enough, though, as the 76ers went on to win by 5.
Step back for the corner 3, 60!
Kobe's big night that season came at the expense of the Trailblazers when he went off for 65 points, with 24 of those coming in the fourth quarter, including 15 straight to force overtime.
Kobe, hard to believe. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
On a per-game basis, Beal edges out Kobe in points, and Kobe has slightly more assists, but their steals, blocks, rebounds, and turnovers are nearly identical. Their advanced metrics are pretty close as well. Kobe narrowly beats out Beal when it comes to efficiency and win shares per 48 minutes. When it comes to true shooting percentage, however, Bradley Beal's got Kobe beat.
And Kobe inside, boy, the degree of difficulty on that shot is through the roof.
The Lakers would go on to finish the season 42-40, barely making the playoffs, where they were routinely dispatched by the Suns in the first round, 4-1. Kobe averaged 32.8 points per game in those 5 games, but it wasn't enough to offset the fact that the Lakers relied on Luke Walton and Kwame Brown as starters.
Now it is all about the Phoenix Suns. They've beaten the Lakers in the first round.
As for Brad Beal, his Wizards currently sit in 12th place in the Eastern Conference, just 3 games out of the play-in tournament. If he keeps up his scoring pace, perhaps Beal can will the Wizards into the playoffs, but as Natasha Bedingfield once said, the rest is still unwritten. So now that you've heard both sides of the story, it's time to decide. The high-scoring Wizard trying his hardest to drag Washington out of the mud, Bradley Beal, versus the legendary Laker who put the team on his back and set scoring records while he did it, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Who you got, Brad Beal or Kobe Bryant? Sound off in the comments with who you think had the better season and why. Who should we compare next? Let us know, and thanks for watching.